Well, Kelly, as we wait for President Biden, we have also been hearing from President Putin in Russia over the last hour or so. Putin said his country is recognizing an expanded version of the two breakaway regions in Ukraine. Now, he's using definitions of the borders of Luhansk and Donetsk from 2014, which would include a key port city with access to the Black Sea. Russia says it's also now going to evacuate its diplomatic staff from Ukraine. And we're hearing from a senior administration official here in the U.S. that the Thursday meeting between Secretary of State Tony Blinken and Russia's Foreign Minister Lavrov is now in, quote, real jeopardy. And that means that any sit down between the two presidents is also unlikely at this time. Meanwhile, France's foreign minister says European Union nations have just unanimously agreed on a set of sanctions on Russia. All of that coming as the administration has now shifted its rhetoric, as you mentioned, is now referring to the Russian action in Ukraine as an invasion. That sets the table for an increased round of sanctions on the Russian government from the U.S. side. That's a step that the Biden administration has not taken just yet. So we may be about to get some more clarity on that from the president at the White House in a couple of minutes. Those remarks scheduled for 1 p.m. now pushed back a little bit, Kelly. We don't know exactly when the president is going to get started here, but we do know that reporters will be in the room momentarily. So we'll wait for that.
And Eamon, if I can, let's dwell on the specific expectations here for just another moment. So far, the U.S. in some ways has been under some criticism for levying sanctions on Ukraine itself, on those separatist territories that Russia now claims as its own. So what is it that he is likely to announce today that would change fundamentally the nature of what's so far been said?
Well, we don't know. And, one of the key questions is just how devastating will these sanctions be? That's what the administration has been talking about in terms of the severity of them. And the thing that the president now is going to have to calibrate is that because Putin has done sort of a classic Putin maneuver, which is sort of go into the gray zone, he's moving troops into these separatist regions, but not going beyond where troops have been since 2014. That threw the administration for a little bit of a loop over the past 24 hours as to whether or not they should even be calling that an invasion, quote unquote. Putin is sort of the master of the strategy of the boiling frog technique. You go a little bit, a little bit, a little bit, and then it's when do you unleash in response the sort of massive consequences that the administration has been talking about. We'll see whether the president's willing to do that here or whether he needs to hold some significant consequences in reserve as a deterrent for any further aggression, right? At some point, once you've spent your deterrent, you've spent it, and there's nothing else that you can do. So all of this very tricky strategic maneuvering here for the White House.